Yes, people. Welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. Happy Good Friday, everyone. Hope you're having a splendid start to your Easter weekend. I thought I'd jump on live quickly just to talk about a couple of bits of transfer news and, more importantly, get into the Brentford preview. Brentford tomorrow. Yeah, another game. The third game in 6 days for Newcastle United. Looking for another win. 5 wins in a row it would be if we managed to get Brentford over the line on Saturday. A good old-fashioned 3 o'clock kickoff. Cannot remember the last time we had one of those. We keep getting the games moved to Sunday every single week for TV or Saturday lunchtime, and we're not even in Europe yet. But it's a taste of things to come. The TV money this summer is going to be lovely. Where we spend it, though? James Maddison, that's where. I've said it all along, that is my number one transfer target, and it came out in the Chronicle yesterday that Leicester City have slapped a £50 million price tag on the 26-year-old England international. 50 million. 50 million for a bloke that's only got 15 months left on his contract. Excuse me. Still getting out of the coldsies. So he's got 15 months left on his contract. They want 50 million for him. Now, last summer, they were after 65 million. That's why Newcastle United couldn't quite get the deal finished for James Maddison last year. We wanted him. Maddison wanted the move, but we couldn't get it done because we were only willing to stretch to about 50. We did put in a bit of 50 million, didn't we? But Leicester turned that down. They wanted 65. They held out for him, kept him against his will. Tielemans was kept as well, in the 19th in the league. So how did that one work out for you? Not very well. That's how. And they leave even this summer. Both of them will be gone this summer. Tielemans is obviously on a free, heavily linked with Spurs and Arsenal. He'll demand a big wage. I would take Newcastle as well. But what I don't like about Tielemans is the way he is down tools at Leicester this season, because he knows he's not going to be there much longer. He has not been grafting. He has not been working hard enough. And he's one of the reasons why Big Brendan Rodgers lost his job. You know, those type of players need to be turning up for him. But the whole Leicester team has been disappointing, hasn't it? I mean, Harvey Barnes, Iniacho, Patson Daka. They've got some really good players, Leicester, to be fair. And they should not be in the bottom 3. No chance. But Maddison, he's the one we're focusing on. And like I said, Tottenham are also heavily linked and chasing Maddison. But if we get top 4, if the table finished now and we got top 4 and Spurs didn't, then that would be us in pole position to sign Maddison. I think we already are. If I was Maddison, and not just because I'm a Newcastle fan, take my Newcastle hat off, I would prefer to go to Newcastle. If I was looking and just say it wasn't Newcastle and it was West Ham that had been given this big takeover, or Aston Villa, let's say Aston Villa, team outside of London. Aston Villa had been given this big takeover. They were where we are now in terms of how the team, the project. I was looking at Spurs, who are probably going to finish outside the top 4. Bit of a mess. Harry Kane's probably going to leave. They haven't got a manager. Newcastle all day long. You would easily. I think Maddison wants this move. He wanted it last year. I think he'll get it this year. 50 million for an England national, 26, coming into his prime. That's worth every penny for me. I would definitely pay that 50 million straight up. No problem about it. And Leicester have accepted that he will be departing the club now, especially if they go down to the Championship. Obviously, they will need to sell him, but they need to sell him anyways, because Leicester has a massive rebuild job now. They need the funds. They're going to get a big chunk of that. 50 million can buy them a couple of very good players, can't it? If they stay in the Premier League. Or if they go down, 50 million will sign them enough players to get promoted, really. Get a good striker out of that, get someone else. So, I think Maddison will come. Leicester have admitted now that he is for sale. He will cost 50 million, and they've invited the bids to come into the market. So, I'll see that one coming. I'll take that, and I'll have Maddison at Newcastle. He would honestly be my number one target above anyone else this summer. He really would. I'll have Maddison. He can complete us. We can change things around how we play as well. He will create things from midfield. I mean, a midfield of like a Bruno, Maddison, Joe Linton, or a Willock, and play one of them further forward, switch things up. Massive. Massive, especially with European competition on the horizon. We're going to have 2 games a week, Thursday, Sunday. No, Wednesday, Sunday, because we'll be in the Champions League. So, yeah, we need those big bodies through the door. We can afford the likes of Maddison. We can afford Maddison, especially if we get Champions League. So, looking forward to that one. 50 million price tag on Maddison. Let me know what you are saying in the comments after this video. Right now, I'll interact with a live chat. Nice to see you in here. Over 100 people watching. Please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Afternoon, Aaron Bosch, says Jabez. This was just a random one. I have to do the preview. We always do preview here on the Magpie channel. And you kind of forget there's a game coming up again because we just played the other day. But Brentford tomorrow, we're going to talk about that in just a second while we get through some of these chats. Big up the Pete. Afternoon, mate. Afternoon, everyone who's in here. Maddison, yes. McTominay, no. I agree with that. Like, I think if we get top 4, I'm leaning away from McTominay. And I seen him last Sunday. He was shite, wasn't he, like everyone else? All right, Matt, you had a good chat with you on Saturday after the MNU match. Nice one, Sam. Ari, Andrew, sup, Glenn. Afternoon, Terence. 15 months. His contract. He'll be a free transfer, Maddison, in 15 months. So if they get relegated, maybe you could. I think Newcastle, there could be some wiggle room in this one, especially if Leicester do get relegated, like Mark says. There will be wiggle room. Maybe we could get them down to 45 at least, maybe 40 with bonuses and add-ons if he gets X amount of appearances. I mean, I've said all along we're not going to get Champions League until Wednesday night. Until Wednesday night, when you look and you see we're in third, you see the game's in hand on Spurs. Spurs have got a fucking Italian caretaker in charge now, mopping up, doing now. The mop's dry. They're crap. Spurs are gone. I'm not worried about Spurs. Actually, I thought it was a Saturday for a minute there. They play tomorrow, don't they? Brighton at home. So yeah, I'm not asked about Spurs. We've just beat Man U. Man U still got FA Cup, still got Europa League. I think we'll finish top 4 now. I really do. With the fixtures we've got, I mean, that Spurs game is massive in a couple of weeks on Sunday. That is absolutely massive. If we kind of get Maddison, I want us to go out for Diaby. It'd be nice to see Diaby again. How's Diaby doing this season? I haven't really kept an eye on him. Is he still doing well in the old Bundesliga? We'll see about that. But he is a talent, huge talent. But he's going to have to knock the wage down as well because, you know, Newcastle wanted him in the summer and they wanted 70 million, 80 million for Moussa Diaby. So, but that can be done. I think we could easily sign both of those if we get top 4 because you've got that FFP, a good chance of FFP now. I think was it The Athletic or somewhere I was reading the other day that Newcastle will have £200 million to spend in the summer without breaching FFP, without even worrying about it if we get top 4. So we'll look forward to the transfer window and stay tuned. There'll be daily transfer windows as always this summer. Daily transfer window videos. That's what I was trying to say there. Just seen on the NUFC blog that James Maddison prefers London. Hope it's not true. I don't believe that. What does he prefer about London? Because since he hasn't even been living in London, he's been living in Leicester for years. I tell you what, Newcastle compared to Leicester. Oh well, I think I don't believe that. 50 million is a snip considering he's absolutely, of course it is. I mean, look at what these players go for now in the England team that get quoted to have one cap, and they're massive. But I tell you what we'll do now. There'll be loads of more transfer windows to come. We might start doing more of these live streams. Let us know if you enjoy them. We'll talk about the Brentford game now. Patient is asking, Isak start tomorrow? Yes. Yeah, I would start Isak tomorrow. I would start Isak. I think Wilson obviously did very well. He loves playing West Ham. Always scores against West Ham. But I would start Isak. I'd bring Isak back in. Isak off the bench. You know what I mean? I think we've got to start making sure that Isak just does this every week now. Every time he scores, I want this. I want hands on hips celebration from Isak. That's his move now. It's got to be. So Isak to start tomorrow. I've had a lot of people asking us, you know, will we rotate because of the games that have been coming thick and fast. We talk about, the 2 changes Eddie Howe did make the other day. Couldn't have paid off any better. Joelinton and Wilson both scoring. I would say tomorrow you could maybe see Lascelles come in, depending on how fit Fabian Schär is, because they've been playing a lot. Could you see Matty Targett in from the off, considering Dan Burn looked absolutely knackered the other day, and Matty Targett did get a run out, not much, but he did get a run out. Even Dubravka, could you see Dubravka come in for Nick Pope, who looked shaky against West Ham? I'm not sure. Eddie Howe, I'm not sure he'll think of that much, but I think we'll still see Alan St. Maximin start. I think we will see Isak come back in. Murphy, I think, will start again. And even in midfield, could you mix things up? Because Longstaff was looking a bit tired the other night. But yeah, you'll see Bruno, Joelinton, and hopefully you'll see 3 points. I mean, it's a big chance for Newcastle to keep getting those statement wins, because this will be huge if we can win tomorrow. Because Aston Villa is the toughest game out of them all next week for me, I think. Villa Park, lunchtime kick-off. Even though, look at Brentford, and I'll get into my score prediction soon, you'd think it'll be more optimistic than what I'm seeing now. But Brentford, for me, obviously very good side. Thomas Frank doing a very good job. Ivan Toney up front, always a handful. I'd love to sign Ivan Toney in the summer. I would have Ivan Toney in the summer all day long. But once. They've been beaten this season at home. Only been beaten once, Brentford, at the G Tech Community Stadium, whatever the hell it's called. That little Thunderdome. So let's have a look at the little bit of team news and stuff from the Brentford game and previous away records. I see people asking as well, where was it before? Someone asked a couple of times, what channel is it on, mate? What channel is the match on? Bud says Cameron. None. 3 o'clock kickoff traditional. So you'll have to look overseas for that one or whatever, if you've got means to do that. But live watch along on the Magpie channel. I'll be watching it. So get amongst it. Yeah. Live watch along tomorrow for the Brentford game. Bring it back. Why not? So I'll give you a nice commentary of what's going on at Brentford tomorrow. So stay tuned for that one. Brentford obviously lost on Wednesday night when we hammered West Ham. They lost 1-0 at Old Trafford. So that was obviously not the best result for them, but 1-0 at Old Trafford wasn't that bad. I heard it was a boring game. Side was saying, I didn't watch the highlights, don't care. Last year we had a massive win, didn't we? At the Bees, the Magpies, 2-0 over the Bees last year. Joe Linton and Joel Willock. So that was a good game. Obviously, battered them at home this season at St James's Park. There always seems to be goals in this one. Remember Eddie Howe's first game when he had COVID, so he's watching from the hotel. It was 3-3. So there's goals in this one, and I think there'll be goals tomorrow. I fancy Newcastle to get a 3-1 win. 3-1 Newcastle tomorrow. That's what I'm going for. 3-1 against Brentford. I just think the lads are flying at the minute. The confidence is high. The momentum is there. Looking for 5 wins in a row. Or is it? Have we got 5 now? Or we're looking for 6? I think we're still looking for 5. I think it was 4 in a row against. Well, let's work it out. After the international break, Forest, Wolves, or was it Wolves and Forest before the break? Man U, West Ham. 5 would be Brentford. I think it'll be 5. Alonso, that's who's managing Mr. Diaby now. Mad. Let's have a look what else you were saying before I sign off on this quick live. And if you want more of these, let us know and we'll start bringing them back a lot more. I think we'll probably still go back in for João Pedro as well, because I think the people at the club, and listen, they know more than me, so I'm not a big fan of getting João Pedro in, but if Eddie Howe and that trust him, then back it. But the young Brazilian, I suppose he is versatile, can play on the wing, can play up front. Probably be good for European competitions as well. But Pedro, I mean, how's he even done in the Championship? What's his stats looking like this season in the Championship, you know? Probably not great, because he's never been a big goal scorer anyway, but we'll see. I would absolutely love Evan Ferguson. I think every Premier League club is looking at Evan Ferguson right now. He's scoring very good goals. He's different. He's a bit old school. He's got the hype, but he's got the technical ability as well. A big fan of Evan Ferguson. I'd take him. I'd absolutely take him. Brentford are going to be tough from set pieces. Need 11 players in. Says Joe Linton. 11 players for the squad being in Europe. I was talking on the watch long the other night and someone said 5 or 6. And I said at least 5 or 6, because you got to think there's still more deadwood that has to leave the club this summer. You've still got to get rid of Dummett, Richie. You even got Hayden and Hendrick and that on loan. You know what I mean? Like, these players have got to go. You've got to start mixing them out. Dubravka will probably go. Karius looks set to go because he wants to play more. So yeah, there's a lot of work to be done this summer, like in terms of ingoings and outgoings. A bit worried about Julian on foot tomorrow. Concussion. It's true. They have to. Don't there's Premier League protocol that they have to. Remember, Isaac had to. Isaac said he was fine wanting to play a couple of months back, and the Premier League's like, nah, he can't play. So I wasn't aware. Julian's concussion. Wait and see about that one. So yeah, I didn't say this, but I'd be surprised about this. Like, well, unless he's going to Arsenal, which would be fair enough, you know, title winners, or Chelsea if they're going to offer him shitloads of money, which could obviously happen. But if you're talking Newcastle Spurs, why would you want to? And I don't believe it, because he hasn't been in London. He's been in Leicester for years. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm going to miss London, miss the capital. Didn't say it. What else are people saying? Mikel Arteta did come out and talk about Kieran Tierney and said he doesn't want to lose him in the summer. So he wants to keep a hold of him. But Tierney, I'd like Tierney, but injury problems for Kieran. I was going to say Ivan Tierney there, combine the both of them, Ivan Toney and Kieran Tierney. But Tierney I would definitely take. Solid on his day, but he is a bit injury prone, like any. And Arteta apparently wants to keep him. Well, this is it. We are battling with Spurs, so Spurs do want to sign Maddison. But I tell you what, if we finish top 4 and they don't, surely Maddison would rather come to Newcastle. And look at the team. Everyone's going to be watching Newcastle now. We're on Sky all the time. But even if you were just watching Match of the Day or watching highlights on YouTube or whatever, and you saw Newcastle, you saw the fans, you saw the connection with the club, you saw the way we're playing, the way we go about ourselves. Everything's tempting, surely. I mean, if Maddison's sitting in the house on the weekend watching that Man U game, the war flags, the surfers are going up, the crowd's mental, the place is buzzing, we're performing well, we're smashing Man United off the park, we're creating loads of chances. He must be thinking, fuck me, I could get a hat-trick here. I'd have a hat-trick here the day in front of those fans. That would be class. Or he's watching Spurs draw 1-1 against Everton on a Monday night. No-brainer, mate. No-brainer. 1-1 tomorrow is Michael's prediction. There's an alternative for those who are asking where's the game on. Do you know what I mean? I'm not promoting anything in here, but you know what it is. You can get them. What do you think of how bollock and the lads? I said it on the watch long. I was like, you'd think we were the ones getting beat, yeah? You'd think Newcastle were losing the way Eddie Howe was going on with the players, but I admire it. I admire the attitude and the need for consistency, and he wanted that performance to up a level because he knew it wasn't quite up to scratch, but we're taking our chances. But he knew they could get more out of the lads, so it's great to see that. It's great not to see him. Remember Brucey just sitting there on the bench every week. I mean, wandering around, picking his nose. I'm looking about the place, thinking, how long have we got left? Couple hours till the beers, boys. Yeah, pub. Kebab. Yeah, sweet. I mean, it's nice to see Eddie Howe on the sidelines actually going for it, engaged and wanting more from his players. That's what we want to see. Maddison loves it too, and he's going to join his England buddies. Exactly. You've got Trippier and everyone here. You've got all this here. Mendy from Madrid left back. I love a bit of that. Harvey Barnes. I'd take Harvey Barnes. If Leicester go down, we can raid Leicester. Absolutely raid them. What DM do you think would be good? Signing allowing Bruno to play more advanced. Alvarez from Ajax. Instead of McTominay, Alvarez from Ajax. Have a bit of Alvarez. Sonagri from PSV. Have a bit of that. Yeah, we are still interested in Diaby. Oh, Ian, what a legend, mate. What a generous legend. Going to get loads of Easter eggs in beers this weekend, thanks to Ian. Really appreciate that, mate. What a guy. Cheers, mate. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Could do with that. Just getting in a minute. So, nice one, Ian. Lovely stuff. We'll get some Easter eggs and beers. Went to Chippy today, yeah? 20 quid for fish and chips. A couple of them. What's all that about? Do you know what I mean? Inflation. Through the roof. Anyways, thanks very much to Ian for that one. Let's get a couple more comments in before we round this up. 20 minutes, so I'll go on for another minute or so. How Bollock and the lads on the side shows he's grown to elite status because he doesn't want the players to take their foot off the gas. I'd rather Paqueta than Maddison if West Ham sell. All right. Finally get Chowdhury in. Hamza Chowdhury. How far we have came from the Hamza Chowdhury days. Apparently PSG are willing to sell like a ticket. Nah, don't want him. He didn't want to come here. He can't come here when it's all rosy and good now. You're thinking, oh, Champions League football in Newcastle now. Didn't want the idea of a relegation scrap, but he'll be happy to come now when he can maybe play PSG away in the Champions League. Good riddance. Good riddance to Hugo Ekitike. Yeah, he's done nout. And we've got Isak now, and we'll get someone better. I don't want Hugo Ekitike now. Terrible attitude. Nah, didn't want him. It's like the French Jesse Lingard. Ekitike, not interested. Not interested. And if PSG are willing to sell him, it's not a good sign, is it? Not a good sign at all. Who was your man of the match for the West Ham game, Matty? Joelinton. I thought he was immense. I thought he was absolutely immense, Joelinton, in that game. Grafton is, as always, but to have the end product, he's very clever, very smart in his goal, playing to the whistle, taking it on the keeper, putting it home, then leaving it up to them. And VAR was on our side, rightfully so, onside. Great run from the left as well. Cut the defence. And then the finish for his last goal. I mean, imagine Joelinton doing that a couple of years ago. Never in a million years would that happen. Never. The amount of chances he had. I remember me and Keg were at Rochdale away in the FA Cup, I think it was, when we drew. Joe was just passing it to the keeper from 6 yards out. He couldn't get any power behind it, any precision. But it just shows coaching and confidence. Completely different player. And I thought the finish and the overall performance was spot on against West Ham. Although you could give it elsewhere as well. But Julian was my man of the match. Leicester will not go down, says Andreas. Different we're not. It's impossible to call the relegation battle at the minute. You look at it, and I think there's 3 points separating the bottom 10 teams or something. 12th till 20th. It's insane how close that relegation battle is. And I'm actually buzzing that we're not in it for a change. We're not in the relegation battle for a change. How nice is that? Because that would be horrible watching that. Because that's going to go down to the wire, that relegation battle. It's going to go right down to the wire. What else you saying? Bastos. Oh, that would have to throw back. I like the idea of that. James Ward-Prowse. Southampton surely going down. They would want loads for him though, wouldn't they? Didn't they want 80 million last year when Chelsea or something was sniffing? If they go down though, you could probably get Ward-Prowse for about 50 mil. He's got his best years ahead of him still. Set piece master. I tell you what, it'll be difficult to choose who would be taking set pieces if Ward-Prowse came in, because Trippier obviously always wants it, always gets it. Fabian Shaw sometimes over it. How would they choose who to take free kicks between Ward-Prowse? I think you've got to give it to Ward-Prowse, to be honest. As much as I love trips, Ward-Prowse treats free kicks like the penalties. Do you know what I mean? He always bangs them in. Over 200 people in right now. I'm going to keep this going because there's plenty of people in. So smash the like button when you're here, please. And subscribe if you haven't already, which would be disgraceful if you haven't already, to be honest with you. Spot on about Ekitike and Matty. Who's your all-time Newcastle five-a-side? That's a good question, so I'm going to answer it. Shea Given, because I've seen Jacob Murphy and Sean Longstaff do this the other day. Shea Given. I'm just going to go all-out attack for the crack. Dabby's ass, just for a bit of banter. I was going to say Philip Albert. I'm going to go Dabby's ass, just because Dabby's ass. So Given, Dabby's ass, Solano. Actually, no. Ginola, Ben Arfa, and Shearer. So Given, Dabby's ass. Dabby's ass. Solano. No, not Solano. Given, Dabby's ass, Ginola, Ben Arfa, and Shearer. It's got to be Shearer, hasn't it? Quite tempted to chuck in Albert Luque. Joking. Not going to chuck in Albert Luque. You could chuck in quite a few from the current team. I could easily put Bruno in there, Botman in there, Maxi in the five-a-side would be a laugh. So you could, but I'm not going to, because I'd go retro. Watford keep us sent off an extra time attacking the corner, was he? Actually, let's have a little look at the old results right now. In the Championship, I think the Mackhams are kicking off at 5:30. Not anyone's really asked about that, are they? I'm more interested in Borough at 8 o'clock against Burnley, because Borough under Michael Carrick looked like they could come up. Oh yeah, Watford 2, Huddersfield 3. Neil Warnock. Oh there, Daniel Bachman, 97th minute, the goalkeeper getting sent off. And 3-2 Huddersfield. Look at Neil Warnock coming in. He's 106 years old, and he's got them out of the relegation battle at 106 years old. Neil Warnock. Crazy times. Apart from that, not much else happening. Norwich 2-0 against Blackburn. Millwall, Luton 0-0. That's a shame because both of them are up there. Luton are third. Luton Town are third in the Championship. Sunderland are 12th. How does that make you feel, Mackens? Because there'll be some of them watching in here. There always is. Burnley streets ahead still. So we'll look at quick look, just so there's some fun at who's going to come up, who could come up. Burnley are obviously going to finish first. Promoting, get yours in the comments as well who you would like to see come up to the Premier League. Sheffield United second, Luton third, Borough fourth, Millwall fifth, Blackburn sixth. And then you've got Norwich, Preston, Coventry. I'd like to see, and Sheffield United are 8 points clear in second with a game in hand. I'd like to see Luton and Borough come up. Or Millwall. Millwall will be funny as well. So that's what I'll go with. Got sidetracked there. Bowen, if West Ham go down, will be a good signing. Oh, people are talking about the Watford keeper being sent off. I'm going to have to check this out on Sky Sports News when I come out of here. What else was saying? I'd be all over this. This is a great job by Stu, actually, João Felix. Because he's not quite the goal scorer, but he could play behind Isak, or you could have another option, because he is a tidy player. Felix, tidy. But I think Man United are after him as well. But again, we've got to get this out of our head now where you think, oh, Man United are after him. Spurs are after him. Spurs are after Maddison. We're not going to get him. Listen, we're above both of those teams now. Life's different. Life is different now. The tide has changed, right? New dawn. People are going to prefer Newcastle, right? Just think as well, how big is your mansion in Newcastle? I mean, what you can get in Newcastle is an 8-bedroom mansion for the price of a 5-bedroom mansion from down south. So there's another option as well. Maddison is a must, but we need a left back, defence midfielder, striker, and wide forward. I agree. And we will sign all those, I think, in the summer. All right, Big Six last night was good. I enjoyed that show. Good crack on there. It's only right that they got a Newcastle fan on, isn't it? Only right. Woodgate, that's a good shout for the five-a-side team. Woodgate, that winger from Napoli. I like to just call him KK because that's his name. Not Kishiznisvili. Remember Kishiznisvili? Does he get your five-a-side team? I can't even pronounce his name. Anyone can, but I know who you mean. KK, the winger from Napoli. Also, the centre back from Napoli. Is it Ming J? J Ming? One of those. He's class. The centre back from Napoli as well. Nate Cans, the neat mate. Nah, quiet one the night, mate. Quiet. It's only, well, I suppose 5 o'clock. Definitely late enough. But nah, not the night. Tomorrow. A couple of beers tomorrow night, I reckon. Marcus Thuram and Diaby. Lovely. Big up Brian. Given Albert Gaza. Gaza in the five-a-side. Like it. Given Woodgate, Bruno, Solano, Shearer. Very nice. Aspria in five-a-side. I'd be all over this. Now, I think Leeds only signed him for a few million and they've slapped like a 25, 30 million price tag on him already. Young Italian. Oh, I'd be all over Notto. I'd be all over Matoma. Matoma from Brighton as well. Get Matoma in. Again, someone who's cost Brighton pennies like every single player they sign, like Caicedo, and he'll go for so much more, but I'd love to sign them. Burnley, Millwall, Middlesbrough, my choice to go up. Burnley, Luton and Borough. Ipswich close to a championship return. I'm all in favour of bringing Borough back up. Like I know it's not the biggest of derbies, but at least it's something. You know what I mean? It's better than now, isn't it? It's better than saying Leeds is a derby. You know, Borough, it's close enough. It's just about in the northeast, isn't it? It's in our region. They're on Tyne Tees, so get amongst it. Beardsley, that'd be very good. I want to do Luton away because I never did it, and they've got the away section going through the fucking washing lanes, haven't they? The back garden washing lanes. Millwall's a no from me. I mean, the away day, the Den, be Larry. Be very Larry. And they'd probably just ruin Newcastle and all the game. Yeah, wouldn't they? Yeah, fuck them. Who's our young lad playing on loan in Scotland? Grand Kual, do you mean, for Hearts? Kim Min Jae. Korean lad, that's what I'm talking about. He's a fucking beast. Get him involved. He can be Botman's. Then Botman and Min Jae, yeah? Botman and Kim and Botman. They could be our centre-back pairing for years. Barella from Inter. Borough's not a derby. Says, would you class Borough as a derby? People in the chat. I would. Obviously, it's not the main derby, but it's still classed as a derby. I find it mad how all these London teams say it's a derby, but you'll say like, Fulham versus Arsenal now, not Arsenal, but it's, the tube stops. Do you know what I mean? It'd be a long tube probably, but do you know what I mean? Nah, I would say Borough is a derby. Yeah, 45 minutes away, says Joe Linton. Joe Linton's been to Borough, see? And he's saying aye for that. Josselou for five-a-side. Aye. Josselou. Spain International, right? Do you know what I mean? Spain International, Josselou. Right, we're going to wrap this up now. I had planned to do this for 10 minutes and I've been doing it for 30. Half an hour. The Masters is on, the golf's on. So I want to watch that. What positions do you think need strengthening? Yeah. CDM, another midfielder like Maddison who can play in the 10 or an 8. I think we need another winger, especially depends on what happens with Maxi in the summer. Maybe need another centre-back. If Shaw gets injured, well, we definitely need another centre-back actually because Lascelles might go. There's so much to take into consideration in terms of who might leave, but centre-backs, Shaw gets injured. you know, we need someone else to step in. And Shaw, you got to remember, he's on the wrong side of 30 now. So we need to be looking at who's next type of thing alongside Botman. So that's what I would say. Just channel right for the super chat. I'd love to see Sunderland back up. I say this all the time, and loads of people didn't want it. Loads of my mates are like, nah, let them rot. Let Sunderland rot. Don't want to see them. Don't want them anymore. I do, me like. I would love to see Sunderland back up because I would love to smash them, absolutely destroy them every time we play them. It would be a 5-1. It would be great, man. It would be beautiful scenes if we were smashing Sunderland up. And just imagine how good it would be to have a derby day back, man. Those again, obviously fierce, feisty, Larry, but I want derby day back. It was the first game you'd look for on the calendar when the fixtures were released. Bring back derby day. Bring back derby day. I'm telling you, we want revenge because what all that Paulo Di Canio knee slides, 5 in a row, 6 in a row, that shite. End that. We can end that now, and we imagine how many times we're going to beat them in a row now. Do you know what I mean? Be a field day, man. Love to see it. Bring them back. Cheers, Bob. I do plan on doing more lives. That's why I've done one the other day and today. So yeah, more lives are going to come. Going to start doing more live shows, interact with you more. So we'll get more lives on the go, mate. Thanks. Glad you've enjoyed the show. Bennington plays centre back. It's a very good point. Just forgot because he never fucking plays there. But he's a very good option in terms of versatility at the back. And Aaron Mr. Derby Day me. Right then, everyone. Cheers for joining in. I've enjoyed that show there. I've enjoyed that stream myself. That's absolutely flew over. 32 minutes have gone by. Thanks to everyone who's joined in the chat. Make sure you drop your comments below if you're watching this back. You didn't watch it live. Let us know what you think the score is going to be against Brentford tomorrow. I said 3-1 Newcastle. We'll be doing a live watch along on the channel, so I'll be live about 2:45 tomorrow afternoon. Jump in on that. Let me know what you think about James Maddison. £50 million price tag on his head. Do you agree with that? Would you sign him? Thanks for getting it, Ian, for the very generous super chat. Means a lot. Really appreciate it. Cheers, Aaron. Cheers, Anthony. You have a good day too, mate. Kushti Sarnies. I like it. Someone watched the FIFA videos back in the day. Good stuff. Lovely, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow for the live watch along. Enjoy the rest of your Good Friday. And see you on Saturday. Take it easy.